Yo, welcome to Shane's Take. I'm your host, Shane Norman, and today we're going to be going over the Jets' Super Bowl chances and whether or not I think they're a little overhyped this season. So as we all know, they will be, as it was just released and confirmed, that they will be on Hard Knocks this season, which I think is funny. Nobody really wanted to be a part of that this year, which I understand. It's a lot of cameras in the locker room, a lot of things go on in the locker room, and you want to keep a lot of those things in-house. But anywho, they got chosen, and I understand why from NFL Network standpoint. But as far as where I'm seeing them, as far as even within their division, because I'm hearing a lot on your major networks about them being Super Bowl contenders and things of that nature. And here's just the reality of it. This is not the NBA, where you just get to install a couple players and you have immediate success. You could look at the Philadelphia Eagles, for example, and maybe say that, but they built strategically and only had to add a couple pieces. And this is what I mean by that. The New York Jets, yes, they did add Aaron Rodgers, and they went and got okay receivers. I'm not high. I like Mecole Hardman more than I like Allen Lazard. I mean, he's a nice possession receiver, maybe, but not that high on the receiving core at all. Love Breece Hall. I love what that running back room brings, but their offensive line is not good at all. Over the course of these past 13 seasons that Aaron Rodgers has played in the league, his line has been in the better half of the league, if not in some cases top 5, top 10, especially in pass protection, in which the Jets, I believe they were the third worst team in the league. You have Connor McGovern, who came from the Dallas Cowboys and the Cowboys let him go for a reason. And that's the best lineman that they have, at least to my knowledge. So I think they're going to struggle there. And then if you look at their schedule is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Let's go over it, shall we? So they open the season playing the Bills. Note, Von Miller is back healthy, which is never good for any opponent. I see them taking a loss there. Then you have the Cowboys. That's not going to be fun for that O-line. The Patriots, no. Kansas City, no. Denver, I'm not too familiar with their D-line, but I do know this. That is a stout defense. And they have Sean Payton over there. So they better come and block. But that's probably an easier matchup for them. But right after that, they have Philly. Then they have the Giants, and we know what they have in the interior. Excuse me. And then you got Thibodeau, who I probably just destroyed his name, but number 5, he's a stud. I saw a lot of potential in him. Then you have the Chargers. Then you have the Raiders with Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa the week before that. Then you got the Dolphins after you play the Bills. This is after the Raiders game. So you have the Raiders, Bills, then Miami. You get a break with the Falcons. I think that they'll win that. I don't see the Falcons having a lot of success doing shit. And then Houston. So you get a 2-week break in a sense. I'm not going to call it a break because every game you could lose in the NFL. But it's not as harsh, as far as having to prepare and what you're going to be facing. But then you have the Dolphins. Then you have the Commanders, who I'm not high on their offense, but their defense, especially their D-line, is crazy. So are the Browns, who you have to play next. Then you end your season with the Patriots. I could easily see the Jets being a 9-8 team. Easily. And that's if they beat a couple of good teams. And I think Aaron Rodgers is an absolute monster. I think some of the things that he does, man, you can't coach. But For a quarterback, everything starts and ends with their line, for the most part. And Garrett Wilson is a stud. Like, I think he's going to be one of the top receivers in the league. He reminds me a lot of like an Antonio Brown almost. But him alone, man, I don't think that you don't have that number 2 guy that's going to line up against the second corner that you can guarantee a win. And I think that that's going to be an issue, especially just within the division. I think the Patriots, if Mac Jones plays competent football, he held the ball way too long, which is why he was one of the most, if not the most, sacked quarterback in the league. But if he gets rid of the ball and makes quick decisions, they're also in the running to get DeAndre Hopkins, which I think DeAndre Hopkins will have a huge impact on Mac Jones and that team offensively. So with that being said, I understand they're going to be a good team if they can put it together. I'm glad to see that they re-signed Keenan Williams. They did lose Chuck Clark to an ACL tear, so he won't be there this season at safety, which I think is a pretty significant loss. He's a stud out of Baltimore. So with all that being said and acknowledged, I don't see how you just sit there and say in the AFC that is absolutely stacked that they are Super Bowl contenders, let alone that it's a guarantee that they make the playoffs. Because if you're asking me, Aaron Rodgers' protection as far as his O-line is not guaranteed. I think he'll figure that out, especially after week 1 and week 2. Not only that, Kansas City, if people aren't familiar, they didn't decide to go the route to enhance their O-line, or not their O-line, but their offense. No, they decided to take the route of, let's get better in the trenches on defense. Let's find a way to add guys that are going to attack the quarterback on the other side, which is scary. So with that being said, that's my take, man. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave your comments below, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.